We've all seen them. Animation errors, terrible villain choices, scenes and moments, in general, that kind of feel off. These are every mistake the Skibidi toilet creators make or fail to do sometimes. A quick example would be how Verlance's characters aren't really that powerful, and the reason for that is that they appear in one scene or episode as someone powerful, just to get defeated or humiliated in the next. Whereas there are characters like Sinister or the future Clockman, who, despite engaging in multiple battles, still retain their status when it comes to strength. Today, we'd discuss about 7 mistakes in Skibidi Toilet and the series that does it. More importantly, we would talk about how to avoid these mistakes in the series that nails it in every category mentioned. Let's first talk about fight scenes. And I know you might argue, but I don't think all our creators are 100% at this. A quick look into the scene where all Titans are fighting against the Emperor, and you can immediately spot the emptiness, as not only is this battle spaced out, there isn't really anything epic that happened. And take note, this was where we had the opportunity to see most of the battle armor Titans in combat, and yet we got this. Now compare that with the first fight the TV had with the G-Man clones, and you get a completely different result. As not only was the environment intense, there were a lot of things that happened that were extremely cool and hard to forget. Now, I'm not even talking about the animation. Everyone has their own unique style. But the presentation is where you see the difference. In the TV's battle, we got a chaotic environment, intense stunts, and the motion itself is exactly what you want to see. When the TV fights against the G-Man clones, we saw what both sides are capable of. The G-Man trying as hard as they can, even adapting to the original G-Man cunning way of fighting by attacking from behind. All of that mixed with the TV Titan's cold but menacing fighting style, and the action wasn't stationary. There was a lot going on our screens, not too much to complicate things, but just enough to show that the action is intense. Another fight scene that feels just right is in episode 40 of the Skibidi multiverse, where every Titan were actually in action. The environment, once again, is just right, and all of the TV, pencil, and speaker Titans are in motion. The scene switch is perfectly done to make you know that all of this is happening at once, not one Titan waiting for its own time to be shown on screen. Battle-adjusted sounds, a lot of action, and that moment screams, "We're in battle, come watch us!" It makes us, the audience, focused. Then add in a bit of new moves or funny moments, and you're absolutely crushing it. Everyone is hooked, and there would be scenes that wouldn't be forgotten. Unlike Verlance's battles that feel heavy and bulky, Boom and Dom's are just right. Heck, Monster Up is a total monster here, as his battles follow the same rhythm. I mean, look at what we got when the Camera Titan fought the Drill Titan. Absolute cinema. The battle was about Titans, but yet it was so smooth you even thought it was an agent battle. That is how to make a good fight scene. Good environment plays a lot, because it brings room for new possibilities. I mean, who would believe a tossed object on the building would contribute to Alpha's downfall? Every setting has to play its role. If the battlefield wasn't in ruins, then this could never have happened. And by the way, like I said, unexpected things also make a battle memorable. But this isn't the only thing that makes a fight scene good, as there's another very important thing, and that is the who. Who is actually fighting the battle matters a lot, because you can't expect building-level chaos to happen if it's just about agents. That would feel so unreal, unless maybe you're Boom, who actually has a method to make it look right. Yeah, that guy's a beast. The who tells us what to expect, which is why when I saw the battle armor Titans doing stuff like this, I was honestly disappointed. Verlance actually does a good job with the Tri-Titan sometimes, but it is very inconsistent. You would think the battle of the most powerful Titans would be legendary, until you see that the events with the agent in episode 70 of the OG series even tops that. Dom's also does this part right and could even balance the visuals between an agent and a Titan. Expectations of the audience really justify if your fight scenes are good or bad. As, to be fair, not every battle has to be chaotic. We've seen even Titans battles that aren't crazy, but they are just right. The reason is the plot makes it that us, as the audience, wouldn't expect much to happen. So when they present us with something like this, it feels kinda normal. Same can be said about agents battles, but when the agent battle goes crazy, it becomes legendary. When Sinister was to fight against the Clock Titan in episode 42 of the multiverse, we all were expecting something better than the other battles so far in the series. And even though it wasn't the best, it still met some certain expectations. And by the way, honestly, I thought we could have just been seeing them stop in playtime. which would be stupid. But Dom hit us with something different. They partially removed their main source of power, which is time. Because both sides are clocks, this leaves us to see their other capabilities besides time control. Virulence, on the other hand, did this when two Triadians fought. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't bad, but it isn't that crazy either. And these are the Triadians fights we're talking about. We're supposed to be seeing something more. Same thing with the base Titans versus the Emperor, and the battle armor versus the Emperor, whose fight scenes are easily forgettable because, let's be honest, nothing really we haven't seen before happened. Okay, before you all say I'm roasting virulence, let's talk about another category, villains. Now, some Skibidi villains are very well done. I mean, take a look at G-Man from the OG series. He's fearless, powerful, and more importantly, has his personal goal that he sees as right, but the others don't. Dave in the Zombie series is another good example of a villain. This one doesn't just have all the characteristics of a villain, he even looks like one. But then you instantly can't find an answer when you ask yourself, what are the Astros even doing here? Or the reason behind Alpha's master's invasion, and even more to that, the reason for the Necromancer's action. There really isn't any driving goal that actually makes sense. Maybe we would hear some of their stories later on in the series, but until then, these villains still feel empty and unjustified. However, characters like G-Man, Dave, and even Sinister have a purpose, a reason for being the bad guy. For Dave, although I don't really get it, I think he kinda explained his story in one episode. As for Sinister, we saw what happened with him and the Chief, and honestly, I think the Chief was a bit biased, as he only had more confidence to do that because he already knew he had Sinister's replacement, which is also one good reason to be evil. Seeing all your allies betray you just because of one guy they haven't met. Yeah, really justified. Now hear me out. I'm not trying to say all these flaws make the series bad. Far from it. The story, regardless, is freaking cool, and that's what makes it even more impressive. Anyways, I think that's all for now. There are still like 3 more very important stuff to talk about around this, but we'd leave that for our next video. Anyways, check out this video on your screen right now.